yeah, I'm super rich. And then like, oh, I'm super poor. Woo, yeah, drinks are on me tonight, whatever. Hey, and welcome back. Today I'm talking about wealth consciousness, and this is a really interesting topic because, number one, a lot of people think that the word wealth is like a dirty word, a greedy word. It's a triggering word for some. Wealth consciousness sounds like this woo-woo topic that is reserved for like ultra mega spiritual people, or I don't know, it just sounds lofty. But I really want to today dispel some of the myths around what wealth consciousness actually is and help you actually get into that state as well of wealth consciousness, which isn't a state, it's a level of consciousness. That's my whole point. So I'll give you a description of what it is, and then let's talk about how you can actually experience this for yourself, because once you understand some of these ideas about wealth and some of these higher level concepts that I know are sort of like buzzwords if you're in those kinds of circles, it's also a little bit cryptic. So we're kind of, you know, lifting the hood on some of that today. And I want to share with you how to experience this for yourself. Growing up in a sort of middle-class family, for me, it was not something that we spoke about, and the word wealth consciousness didn't even come into my sphere or orbit until a few years ago, and understanding what this is has really shifted my business, my life, and my appreciation for what wealth truly is. So, what does wealth mean to you? To me, and this is just my story, this is just my definition, it's not just about financial gains, it's not just about being financially wealthy. The definition that I'm using here in this, and this is just my story, it's just my definition, is that wealth is a holistic state where you have everything that you want in balance holistically. So it's not just having heaps of money but really crappy relationships or bad health. It's about having a level of financial abundance that you are satiated with and satisfied with, and that allows you to live in flow, as well as ultimate health, as well as relationships, as well as, you know, general happiness and doing work that makes you feel grateful and alive, and contribution, and everything that you might value in your life is actually, you're feeling fulfilled and like you're actually executing and doing those things on a different level. So that's the understanding of wealth. When I was a martial artist, not so long ago, I'm always going to be still a martial artist in my heart, but internationally competing martial artist, I understood very, very well what a state of flow was. So I could have, and this did happen to me one time, I had two, what do you call it, like sprained quads from sport, and I had to compete at world titles, and I literally was having trouble walking because two sprained quads means you can't flex your legs when you're actually walking. But I would be able to get over that even if I couldn't walk outside of the ring, step into the ring, something would happen, time would slow down, everything would go gray. I wouldn't really have to think about it. Everything kind of just went in slow motion, and pop, then it was over, and I would pop out and my legs would ache again, and I would, you know, be really hurting. Flow state, or a state of flow, is something just like any state that you can go in and out of. And there's been a lot of research done on flow states. There's a book written about it on flow, and I cannot pronounce the author's name. It's Mihai something. It's an amazing book though. And he talks about when the level of like challenge as well as the level of skill are just at the right ratios and they match, you end up entering a state of flow where, you know, you don't need to focus on anything else, and you're incredibly present, and you notice that time just slips away, or it slows down, or it speeds up, and you don't even notice, and you come to these incredible results and conclusions. And that's a state of flow, and you can enter it and you can exit it, you can enter it and you can exit it. And a lot of people spend their life working out how to stay in flow as often as possible. One of my friends, Jackie, is a flow master, and she talks about a flow consciousness. Now, flow consciousness is something that I learned about, you know, by happenstance. I started traveling when I was in my early 20s, and traveling just based off of intuition and totally solo around the world. And what I had to learn was this: no matter what happened, even if everything fucked up, even if like shit totally hit the fan, like I was stuck in Cuba one time and I couldn't get any access to my bank account because it was a sanctioned country, and I ended up having a mistake made on my my ticket out of the country. I had no money left, and I ended up at the airport on the day that I was supposed to fly, but my ticket said the next day. So I had to, you know, it was like, what do you do when the proverbial hits the fan in these kinds of situations? And being in a consciousness of flow is like, you don't go in the state and out of the state, in and out. It's about recognizing that you just never are not in flow, and bringing yourself back to remembering that by having beliefs, attitudes, meta programs, emotions, and just overall trust in yourself and in life, that everything is always working out in your favor, even when you're in a sanctioned country and everything is going wrong, right? Those are the times when you really have to practice this, but bringing yourself back into flow by reminding yourself that no, I have plans, but I'm totally supported, and that's actually the bigger plan, and it's all good for me. So there's a state of flow and there's a consciousness of flow. And when you start operating from a consciousness of flow, you start having greater trust in yourself, greater trust in life, and incredible results, because you become incredibly resilient, because when things go wrong, you turn it into exactly why things are gonna go right. When you miss a train, which means you're gonna miss your plane, which means you're gonna miss a meeting, you turn it into exactly the reason why you're exactly where you need to be in that moment, because either you need to meet someone who's right there, or you're not meant to be where you're going, or you're being protected from something that you don't even know about, or there's something for you to learn, or something for you to realize, or whatever. And it's not about ever necessarily discovering the exact reason why this thing went wrong in your own mind, but having trust in that. Okay, so that's the understanding of flow consciousness that I have created for my own life, and the distinction between a state of flow and a consciousness of flow, right? So we're talking about wealth consciousness today. I was about to say, hands up, okay? Because if you're watching this, you might be like, yes, this is me too. If you've ever lived in a state of like, yeah, I'm super rich, and then like, oh, I'm super poor, and then, woohoo, I'm super rich, and then, oh, I'm super poor. What do they call that? Like feast and famine. Hands up if you've ever lived in a state of feast or famine, like when money comes in, whether you are a business owner or you have a job and you live paycheck to paycheck or whatever, you know, you get some money and you're like, woo, yeah, drinks are on me tonight, whatever. When you don't have money, you're like, sad face, I'm broke, I suck, maybe I'm not a good human, maybe I'm not cut out for this business, maybe, blah, blah, blah. And then money comes in and you're like, woo, everything's fine, I don't know what I was worried about. Then the same thing happens again, right? So a state of wealth is when you can get into that state of wealth, but you can also come out of it. So it's a state that you can enter and exit. And this is really common, right? We don't realize that we have a choice to stay in wealth. Often we naturally enter the state of wealth when we have money in the bank, or we feel supported, or we feel financially secure, or we feel like we have a perception like there's a guarantee coming in our lives, right? That's a state of wealth. And we can naturally exit it if we're not seeing the results in our lives. Like if we're not seeing the clients come through, or the business come through, or the money come through, or we've spent all our money from our monthly or weekly paycheck, right? It's a state of wealth that we enter or exit. So wealth consciousness, on the other hand, is having a consciousness of wealth. You understand that you're never not in wealth, and you turn every situation into an opportunity to turn something that you perceive has gone wrong into something right. Always trusting in yourself, knowing yourself, trusting yourself and backing yourself, trusting in yourself, trusting in life, trusting in the business and whatever, that no matter what's happening, even if it doesn't look right, this is an opportunity for you to go even further ahead, to feel even more powerful, to make even more money, or to have even more wealth in the actual definition of it, so that you're literally turning your life into an experience of wealth no matter what it is that you do. Here's what's interesting and why it's important to get yourself into a state of wealth consciousness. And this is what's interesting when you do. So if you have a overarching belief in life that everything I do aligns with my wealth, like I'm always exactly where I need to be, even when something goes wrong, there's an opportunity for me here. If you have that belief, you would probably also have a belief that everything I do makes me money, right? Because that's a wealth consciousness belief. If I was in flow consciousness, I would believe that anytime I'm following my heart, anytime I'm doing the thing that feels really, really good for me, anytime I'm living in alignment, I'm always exactly where I need to be. And a wealth consciousness would be anytime I act from alignment, I sell what feels good, I do what feels good, I let my career guide me, I let my heart guide me in my career, or I choose to launch what I want to launch in my business, etc. Whenever you're doing that, you would naturally make more money if you have a wealth consciousness that that's exactly where you need to be in order to get where you want to go, right? So you choose to believe in wealth consciousness, that when you act from alignment, when you're doing what feels good, when you're following your heart, when you're launching what feels aligned, you're going to make more money or you're going to grow your wealth. So when you have a state of wealth consciousness, here's what's interesting. You wouldn't not choose to act from alignment if no matter what you do, you're going to make money. You probably would stop doing things that you hate. You probably would stop doing things that don't feel aligned. You probably would also stop doing things that drain you of energy as well, because having a belief in wealth consciousness means that you are always on track, and it just naturally filters out that it gives you more choices, more opportunities, more ways of showing up in the world in a way that feels aligned for you. So understanding wealth consciousness actually improves your life, not just because, you know, wealth is a good thing to have in terms of, you know, holistically your life works out, but in and of itself, when you understand this and start acting from it, it changes the way that you show up, it changes the way that you perceive the world and what you believe and how you receive and what you achieve and how you do things. And that individually as a concept will have you showing up and acting in a different way that feels aligned for you. And with the belief that that's going to grow your wealth, you can't really go wrong. So I want you to leave me a comment underneath this video, wherever you're watching this, if it's on my website or on YouTube, and let me know, A, have you experienced a state of wealth and therefore a state of not wealth? Do you understand the level of difference between a state of wealth and a wealth consciousness? And if you were acting from alignment, if you truly trusted that doing what feels good by acting from alignment, by showing up in a way that feels aligned for you, and everything that you're doing is supporting your greatest good to grow your wealth, what do you now know? What can you now choose? What's going wrong that makes you feel more powerful? Or if you fully trusted in it, what would you be doing differently right now? So leave me a comment below, or feel free to just not leave a comment and go ahead and journal on this, like go write it down. But it's a really important self-exploration to do. If you liked this video, I would love for you to like it and to share it and watch some of my other videos too. There's lots on this YouTube channel as well. If you want a free gift from me or a book, how to create anything that you want, go to my website, hayleycarr.tv/gift. I will link it up underneath this video, and you'll receive incredible things from me every week, including gifts, including like free coaching and things like that. But also it's going to teach you the 4 steps to creating anything that you want, and that's free from me. So leave me a comment, do some journaling, share the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I will see you soon. Remember, the life you crave is so much closer than you think, so stay curious and stay open. I'll see you soon. Bye.